And I've already got another book coming in my mind, which is going to take it on even further, because a lot of pennies have dropped in even in the last 2 weeks. Big pennies about how this matrix actually is constructed and what it is. And what has been happening to me, Jack, is that over the last particularly 6 months, I'm going into states in sleep of dreams that are so vivid. It's like this world. If people talk about, and I've talked about the fact that, this is in effect a form of dream. And when we're in sleep, we dream other dreams, which don't have the limitations, of course, that this dream has, because if we fall off a cliff in a dream, we wake up with in a start. Oh my goodness me! Oh, what just happened? But you're still alive. You fall off a cliff in this dream, and you're not still alive in this reality, because you're programmed to believe that when that happens, you must not be with us anymore. And this is why some people can walk through fire without getting burned, and most people would get burned. They go into another state of consciousness, which is what basically a dream is. And these dreams have become more and more vivid, and as they have done so, more and more information, insight, and awareness has started to form. And I'm just at the cusp of going, this new book goes deeper into the rabbit hole, for sure, not least in relation to Saturn and other things, but I'm just on the cusp of going really deep. When you reach a point and you know that the waters are about to break in a big way, I'm at that point now, and it's an exciting time for me, because what I've been pursuing for the last 22 years is not only what's going on, it's how we delete what's going on. And for me, what's happening is this matrix, which I explain in the book, and we'll do even more in the next one because of what's happening since it went to the printers. It has created a feedback loop, if you like, with human awareness, the human mind. And the feedback loop is this. And it's interesting because you kind of went in some way earlier mentioning this in terms of them telling us what's going to happen, and it happens. The feedback loop is the matrix in its forms feeds us a sense of reality. We believe that sense of reality, and then we feed back into the matrix that sense of reality, which empowers it to feed it back to us in a more powerful way. So it becomes a receiver-transmitter kind of relationship, where the more we believe what we are led to believe, the more we empower the matrix to manifest what we have been manipulated to believe. And that feedback loop has to be broken. And when people start to awaken, and they start to, even at the level of Occupy protests and Tea parties in a smaller way, and the more we move on in a much more fundamental way to see the world and reality in a different way, we break that feedback loop. We're no longer feeding back into the matrix information construct what it's feeding to us. And therefore, we're weakening that rather than empowering it. That is why it is so important for everybody, as many people as possible, to wake up and disconnect themselves from this, I believe what I'm told, I believe what I'm told, and question it and see it in another light, because you break the feedback. And so that's great. And this is why it's so important for people to wake up, because it's weakening the power we're giving to the matrix to further influence us. But for me, there is an energetic code. I've seen this in my mind for 20 years, and it's becoming more and more powerful and tangible in the last few weeks. There is a code. It is like the equivalent of a combination lock to open a safe, but it's an energetic code. And that code is going to break this information construct. And when it does, people are going to be like Sleeping Beauty. They're going to wake up and go, what just happened? Because the world and themselves is going to suddenly be perceived in very different terms. Now, some people, many and increasing numbers of people, this is already happening to them, even within this box.
Even as you said earlier, by osmosis, the 100th monkey syndrome almost.
Yeah, well, that's basically the same thing, because what you're doing is the more you awaken, and therefore in this interaction with this energetic construct I call the matrix, the more you awaken, you're putting new information, new perceptions into this construct. This is weakening the power of the construct itself, which has been designed to feed us the sense of reality, little me, I've got no power, and all this stuff. Eons have been following and believing in. And thus, when you put this information into this construct, it is there for other people to pick it up and be influenced by it. And so everyone who awakens, and everyone that awakens is adding these new ways of looking at self and life into this construct, this energy field. And thus, more and more people are getting access to more and more powerful levels of alternative ways of seeing things. And you can spontaneously suddenly see life in a different way, walking down the supermarket aisle without actually having read a book or heard anybody speak about it. Suddenly you get it. And this is why it's so important that people wake up, because it's weakening and weakening and weakening this matrix construct, which is actually feeding us a reality. So that is fantastic, and the more that happens, the better it will be. But in the end, I know there is a vibrational code that is going to bring this down. And I'm starting to understand what this matrix is, and I'm starting to understand, therefore, what is necessary to break its control of human perception. It's exciting times, and the next 4 years are going to be really, really at the center, the heart of bringing this whole thing to an end. Freedom, where people had reached the point where they remembered who they were and thus accessed the infinite power of who they are to construct their own reality, whatever that may be, instead of having their reality constructed through them by the suppressed or manipulated, engineered ignorance, which is telling them that they are a fraction of who they really are. I don't cry when horrible things happen. I never have. My reaction to horrible things is, I want to do something about this. But I do cry easily when I see people joyous, when something wonderful has happened to someone. That makes me cry so easy. I mean, don't give me a weepy movie without a hanky. But when I see people waking up, when I see them getting it, when I see them, the look on their face when they go, I am more than I thought I was. I am not, Ethel Jones that works at the store. I am something greater than that. Well, you know, I mean, it just moves me to tears all the time, because it's just like, yes, that's what I do it for, you know?
Well, it's the same with me. I mean, when I see people playing it forward, it definitely gets me a little weepy sometimes. When I see people, you know, these random acts of kindness. This Christmas, we had a lot of people going in and anonymously paying people's electric bills. And this is the new world that we're living in, David, and it's a wonderful legacy, maybe for both of us.
Yes, that's exactly it. Acts of kindness probably make me cry easier than anything else, because I think part of it is this deep knowing that we all have, that's how life can be, and within, if you like, the genetic memory, that's how life once was before this hijack took over. It's so simple. If we want a world of kindness, then let's be kind. And want a world of peace, let's be peaceful. It's that simple. It's not complicated. It's not, you know, rocket science. It's what you express collectively is what you collectively experience. And we can change this world so fast by changing ourselves in vast numbers, which collectively changes everything.